Get ready. Today I'm going to take you on a stream of information. Currently, the cities of Latin America symbolize the center of the world's fun-loving culture and the region's hub of services, as well as the bridge between globalization and tradition. In the next 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to do my best to educate you on the one and only Latin America city model. This model was developed by Griffin and Ford in the year of 1980, when they both had realized the fusion of Latin American tradition with globalization within the cities. If we take a look at the different major cities in Latin America, it is clear that there are many structural similarities. Let's take a blast into the past. Many of the major Latin American cities began to grow and develop during colonial times as new culture was introduced to the pre-colonial traditions of Latin America. As a result of colonization, the city organization was mandated by a set of laws called the Law of the Indies. These were a set of laws issued by Spain to regulate the social, political, and economic structure of the colonies out of Europe. The Law of the Indies required that the colonial cities have a grid pattern around the central plaza, thus structuring the proceedings to the socio-economic scale, as development further from the central plaza was intended for those with less social and economic status. Come on, Spain, no need for any discrimination here. As these cities later began to grow, the laws no longer applied, leaving room for the fusion of both globalization and culture. Therefore, the central plaza became the center of services, leading to rapid immigration and high birth rates, in turn creating the basis for squatter settlements. Well, enough history. Let's move on to the actual model for the cities. The colonial influences greatly boomed the development of the center, thus transforming it into the center of infrastructure. The physical model and depiction of the cities show that the Latin American cities have a central hub of economical, social, and political opportunities. Then, in 1996, Ford made another observation and split the Seoul CBD into a traditional market and CBD. Contact with the central business district, and unlike many common models, Griffin and Ford introduced the concept of a spine and the mall, as the spine connects the CBD to the mall, which is simply a corridor of retail filled with commercial services. I guess you could say the spine is the backbone of this model. Get it? Backbone? Well, anyways, a commercial spine extends, surrounded by an elite residential development for the upper class. In this sector, land use planning and zoning is also very strict, as they implement high commercial class extensions in an organized manner. Surrounding the central business district is a zone of maturity that consists of middle-income residents who filtered in as upper-class residents move out. This zone also consists of fully developed infrastructure. Just next to the zone of maturity is an area of gentrification, which later transforms into middle and higher-class residential. Similar to the awkward transition in middle school, just outside the zone of maturity is a zone of C2 accretion, which serves as a transitional area between middle-class and lower-class squatter settlements. This also dates back to colonial times, as European forces stressed the differences between the spaces of privilege and poverty within the city, as the less developed must remain on the periphery. Last but not least, well, maybe, the ring of the city is a zone of peripheral squatter settlements which consists of low-income residents and nearly no infrastructure, as the residents must sustain with whichever materials are available. The spark of in-migration and high birth rates during post-colonial times brought lesser privileged migrants to the city, thus causing a socio-economic filtering between the wealth and poor. When you see or visualize a Latin American city, just imagine the countless factors that were implemented to structure such a city. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's milk, not milk.